Online, we're here for all your policy needs. Or better yet, give us a chance to earn your business with our top-notch customer service, strong coverage options, and unbeatable pricing. The Burns Agency, proudly serving Eastern Connecticut since 1932.
Better Burns. Much better. So much better at Burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better at Burns. You buy better at Burns. You buy better.
Hi, I'm your local opossum. I'm nature's pest control and cleanup crew. I'm naturally immune to rabies. And I can eat up to 5,000 ticks per year. I can't catch or carry Lyme disease. And I eat insects, spiders, small rodents, and some dead stuff. So if you see me, ignore me. The following has been brought to you by Griswold Health and Safety.
Live from Main Street, your community radio.
Mike Minarski and Rich Wasilick in the morning, and 80s all day and night.
SNSN.
Your community radio.
Live from Main Street.
Mike Minarski and Rich Wasilick in the morning, and 80s all day and night.
SNSN.
Well. Look at that. We had some people in there, and before we even said one word, they've already clicked off.
Can they see my legs?
What a popular show this has become. See, the funny thing is that people will watch this throughout the day.
Yeah.
You know, and not so much just live in the morning.
Yeah, I've been there.
Certain people. But,
been there a bunch of times, yeah.
Where you watch stuff in the afternoon or whatever. Yeah. So that's what we find. That's what I find too. That I get the comments really kind of build up after.
Yeah.
You know, you get them during when we're live, but there's quite a few. I think sometimes people click on it and they think we're actually live at that point.
I have.
Did you really?
Yeah. Mistakenly, yeah.
Even if it was you on the show?
No.
How did I get
Maybe
there?
after I woke up, but
oh god. It's like you click on the show and it's me and you and like
thought I was sleeping.
Wait a minute. I'm not there. I'm here.
It's a dream.
It's a dream come true. Oh god. Yeah. So I do that all the time. So Little League Baseball season started. Well, I should say All-Star season started. Yeah. And my voice is crap. Oh my god.
There's something stuck in there.
I don't know, but it could be
it's sucking in too much pollen.
I think you're the second person that told me that actually today. So, and we were actually in right center field. We were way out there, so we can get a better vantage point with the camera. So we were right in the grass. So that's a possibility.
Yeah, pretty sure.
So, but it was a blast. Jewett City, the minors and the majors both lost yesterday. It's double elimination, so we have another game tonight.
Yeah.
So Jewett City plays tonight at Whiteley Field, which is of course right here in Jewett City. So the game is at 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be covering that as well.
Excellent.
So I was going to say something to you, and I totally lost it.
Squirrel ran by.
Yeah. Then I started with the hiccups all of a sudden. So now I'm trying to suppress the hiccups. So good morning, Laura, and good morning, Victoria. Welcome on in. A little bit after 9 o'clock, we have a couple of folks coming with a very interesting conversation, and it's a tough conversation to have, but it is reality. We're going to be talking to Kathy Duffy from Matt's Mission, also Miranda Mahoney from Griswold Pride, and another organization called Perception Programs.
Okay,
is coming in as
never heard of that one.
Well, neither had I. Neither had I until this new Matt Van program started.
Okay, so she's part of all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we won't get into now what the Matt Van is.
As I really have no idea either. So
yeah, and it's interesting. It's one of the things that seems to be happening with drug prevention is there, and this is just my own idea.
Yep.
just by listening to, these folks, is that it's not so much about drug prevention as it is about death.
Yeah, death prevention.
Yeah. So one of the things that they're really heavy on right now is don't use alone. So if you are using, don't do it alone. Make sure that you are carrying Narcan with you.
Right.
So if something was to happen, they even have that they hand out are fentanyl test strips.
Yeah, I've heard of those. Yeah, that's pretty neat.
So these are all things that I think they figured that users are going to use. They're going to use it.
You're not going to stop it. Yeah.
You're not going to. The only thing that's going to stop them is either themselves or they're going to die.
The question I have is, if it tests positive, you get a refund.
What?
The test positive for fentanyl, you get a refund from your dealer, or is it?
No. They don't. You don't get that money back. You're lucky to keep your life, because that stuff's deadly.
Yeah, real quick too.
That's it. When I was growing up, the big thing was really that was marijuana, right? It was pot.
That's all we talked about.
Yeah. But as far as like the drug of choice,
that's all we talked about in high school and stuff. Yeah.
Smoking weed or whatever.
Hiding behind the basketball hoops or something. Yeah.
Or somewhere there weren't a parent or a teacher. Just anywhere.
They were smoking with you?
No, not smoking with you. Today they might. I mean, you never know.
Back then they did too.
I knew a couple.
Yeah.
But it's that stuff didn't kill you.
No, that was, you just bought it, you smoked it. Well, I didn't personally do it myself, but
now they're putting stuff into it that could kill you.
Yeah.
They're lacing the stuff. They're using different cutting agents. It's the same thing with heroin. They're putting this stuff in there. We're actually talking about you now. Oh, well,
he's busy.
Yeah. They cut it. We did. We just started getting into the conversation
inadvertently.
It's usually what happens, I mean, oh, there we go.
Good morning.
Here, come on this side a little bit more.
Got your own little attachment on the straw there, or is that your own straw?
Oh no, it's a reusable straw.
Oh, okay.
Reusable cup.
So it's not paper. Yeah.
No, I bought a whole package of those reusable straws at Aldi. And have them at home. So we use them.
We're not allowed to have them in the house.
Why?
Because she doesn't like the dirtiness, so she can't clean inside them real well.
They come with their own cleaner.
Yeah.
Those do? Oh, okay.
Yeah. You just put it in.
Okay.
Whatever.
I have to tell her about them.
Save the turtles.
I'll eat the turtles. I don't care.
It was more about the environment thing with me instead of because there was one video with a turtle with a straw up its nose. One. It's not like it's an epidemic.
What was he doing?
Nothing. They just think.
I don't know if he was snoring or what. I mean, what are they doing with the straws? I mean, I've never personally seen a turtle with a straw up his nose.
Well, our trash gets incinerated, but everywhere, some other places, it ends up in the ocean.
Yeah. So, but but I've seen one.
Yeah.
It's not like there's a whole flock.
Not a pandemic.
Turtles. No. Imagine that they're all in there. Watch out! Turtles are dying from straws today. Give wisely. So we were talking about Griswold Pride a little bit and perception programs, which I don't know too much about.
Okay.
And of course, Matt's mission and the Matt van.
Yes.
So we'll get into that a little bit. But what we were talking about, that's why I'm really glad you walked in when you did, because just of the conversation that Rich and I were having. Is there a shift in
Completely.
All right, so you know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is no more heroin. It's all fentanyl. And fentanyl is now in just about every drug out there. Most of the fatal overdoses that we're seeing, not just here, but in New London County, the ones that we track are crack or cocaine. So those, because they're probably, cross-contaminated somewhere with fentanyl, that's information that would become finalized once we see the medical examiner reports, at the end of the year. But I want to say our 2021 data, almost 40% of the overdose deaths in the state were due to crack and cocaine. So, 3 years ago, that would have been probably, 10%. So it's a huge shift going on.
What's the other 60%?
Fentanyl,
That it's
regular
fentanyl,
fentanyl,
100%?
benzos, opiates. But
Okay.
so the other thing is, any pill you buy on the street nowadays is fentanyl. It's not whatever they're marketing as. They're making it to look exactly like a benzo, like a Klonopin, like another opioid, like Percocet or Vicodin or whatever. But they're making them look exactly like you'd never tell the difference. But it's pure fentanyl, and people aren't aware of this because they're marketed as a regular prescription drug. So it's causing a lot of deaths because those are the users that wouldn't necessarily have Narcan on them. It's, IV drug users, people who know they're using fentanyl, they carry Narcan. A lot of people are revived by bystanders who have Narcan nowadays. So the deaths that we're seeing are the other drug users. It's crazy and it's scary. It's really scary.
So why would I the one thing that I don't understand is if users are looking for heroin and
they're looking for fentanyl, heroin, you can take that word right out of the vocabulary now. It's fentanyl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why would they do that if they know it's going to be?
It's a good high.
Yeah, they're addicted.
Yeah, it's a good high.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Come on in, folks.
It's like playing Russian roulette. Eventually you're going to get the bullet, but you want the high.
Yeah. I don't understand it. I don't understand that part. So, but the other thing is too, is that I think maybe what I meant more by the shift was not so much as prevention, but more as prevention of people
harm
using...
reduction. It's harm reduction.
Okay, that's the term I was looking for.
Yes, we're keeping people alive at this point.
Okay, so what kind of things are being done, for harm reduction that people will...
We'll have that conversation. We'll bring Jess in. She's perfect.
Okay.
I mean, I can speak on it, but she's the one doing the work. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Perfect. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Kathy's here from Matt's Mission and Jess from Perceptions. I knew the pro. I didn't know your name. That was the only thing.
Doing the mobile map cam.
Okay. So we should.
Some flyers, so.
Yeah, I've actually got it up on my phone here. So right there. So, but it's easier to look on this. So.
So I'll keep going. Harm reduction, we use it every day. Everyone uses it. Seatbelts, harm reduction, sunscreen, harm reduction. When we're COVID, masks, anything like that, harm reduction, social distancing. So we use harm reduction strategies every day. And now we're using it. Well, we've been using it for a long time. I mean, back when I started in 2000, we had needle exchange programs, but they were underground. Now they're gaining steam. Like this is the way, this is the forward thinking that we have to move in order to save lives. People who enter syringe service programs are 5 times more likely to seek treatment along the line and enter into recovery. So this is where we have to start thinking in shifting, public thoughts on this.
Yeah. I've learned so much really by listening to you and Kathy and stuff through the years, and I don't know. I don't understand why somebody would risk their life.
You don't have to understand it, but you got to respect it because you don't understand because you don't have it.
I do, but I don't.
Right.
I feel. Is it bad to say I feel bad?
Feel bad about what?
For
not understanding it, or
folks that are addicted.
It's
like I almost want to just stop.
Yeah.
Can you do that to a diabetic? Can you do that to somebody who has heart disease? Come on, get out of shake it off. Get out of it. You can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, start exercising. Stop eating in that state because if you do, we're not going to be there for you next time.
And we're not giving you your meds if you eat
Mhm.
a cake and you're diabetic, because that's
Which I am, and I'm on 2 different shots for it,
and, can you
and
imagine
Janumet.
if
So
you didn't
So I get it,
by
yeah.
your doctor's orders and ate that extra slice of cake or didn't you know, you
Right.
just weren't following the doctor's.
Oh no, I get it, you know, because I'll be sitting there and I'll go, oh, you know, there's a little Debbie cake in there. I know I make light of this, but you know, I mean, some of the things that I do, I'm not making light of what's happening here. I don't understand it fully. I don't understand the thought process behind it, and this is why I ask the questions, I guess.
Change the makeup of your brain.
I don't know if I'll ever understand it. You know what I mean? You know, there's so.
It's an addiction just like any other addiction.
Yeah.
Like some people are addicted to food, you know, same thing.
Yeah.
I think a good thing is the only people that are going to understand it are the ones going through it. So that's the.
Yeah, and until you go through it.
I guess maybe that's the way I gotta look at it.
Yeah.
You know.
So I had a lot of people say, like when we had homicides and stuff, or I don't understand how they could do that. Well, you're not in their brain, so you're really not gonna try. Don't even bother trying to understand it. It's just
So maybe that's my biggest problem is that personally is that I'm trying to understand something I would not be
you're
able
not
to
going
understand.
to. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Why don't we have Rich? Why don't you come over
switch
here?
again?
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
going to put the ladies next to each
I don't
other.
blame
So, so Jess, why don't you come on over here?
Do you want me to just be down?
I always
I'll adjust this.
let somebody else take the lead.
So the camera is on basically. There we go. Whoa, Rich. Yeah, you can't move that one.
So you want it down?
Yeah. Well, no, you can lift it up a little bit. Keep going. You got a little more. All right, good. That's just Cause see, this gotta yank this right out. Okay. I need some of those too. She needs some of those. So can we have you move over just a little bit this way? Okay. So this is Jess, the lady on the left on the camera, and there's Kathy Defasy in the middle, and of course Miranda Mahoney. So, so Jess, you're the person from Perception Programs that you should ask those questions to. So the mobile mat van, which is new to Jewett City and Griswold, can you tell us what the mobile mat van is and when it's going to be here? Well, we'll get into that, but what is it basically?
So the mobile mat van is a way to bring treatment, Suboxone specifically, which is a medication used to treat people with opioid use disorder. It helps with cravings. It helps really save people's lives, even people who are still currently using, because it has a blocker in it that helps block any substances that or opioids that they would use. But the mobile mat van goes to 5 different locations throughout Connecticut, Jewett City being one of them. Yay. And we engage with individuals who are using currently, or who maybe they aren't using, but they are interested, they're having cravings, whatever it is, and they want to access Suboxone. But we also have an array of other services like peer support services, connection, linkage to primary care, mental health services, what else? Syringe services, right? So if I engage with somebody who is like, I'm not ready to stop using, I'm not there. Okay, well, can you use safer? Can you use these sterile supplies? Can you take Narcan? I'll teach you how to use it. And I just give people the information and resources to keep them alive so that hopefully one day they can come to the decision to do something different.
Did you want a caveat off of that?
No, she said it perfectly.
Did she?
Yeah.
All right. So I have a whole flyer here, and I can bring it up on the screen here too. There are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8 programs just that you have listed on the flyer itself.
Well, services, yeah.
Services, right? What's the difference between a program and?
Well, a program would be like, I would feel like outpatient services or a Suboxone program, methadone program, individual therapy is a program, but those are like just services. So like connection to, right? Like I'm not providing the service on the van other than the peer support and the Suboxone, connection to the Suboxone, which is via telehealth. It's same day access, which is huge. I remember when I first started this 8+ years ago, and people, okay, you want to get on Suboxone? 2 weeks. you would have to wait 2 weeks.
And you'd lose them within those 2 weeks.
And they can die in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They can die or change their mind, right? Because we
Right.
know I'm somebody in long-term recovery from opioid use disorder. I'm coming up on my
You're talking
10
about
years.
yourself now?
Yes. I'm
So yeah,
talking about
that was
myself.
my question is how did you get into this line of work?
So that's how I struggled for almost 20 years, and then in September will be 10 years that I have not been using, and I am on Suboxone. So thank you. Thank you. And it's not always easy, right? Like I was very naive when I went to detox. I thought like, I'm just going to stop using and then I'll be fine. Like I'll be okay. I'll get to go back and be a mom. And that just wasn't it, right? Because the drugs are a symptom of the problem. And my thinking was the problem. My behaviors were the problem. And I had to learn new ways of living and thinking and just being, you know? So, and addressing a lot of unaddressed childhood trauma was huge. You know, I had to do that hard work and feel all of it, which is why people use drugs, because they don't want to feel that.
Right.
So that's how I got into it. And I forgot the question that you were asking me.
No, I think you pretty much
just how I got into it.
Yeah, because you know, I mean, I know some people, you know, get into it because it's part of their back history, and it's not. I mean, well, it is part of your back history, not personally.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, everybody knows somebody that has.
You said that, many times.
Everyone.
You're right. Yeah,
I've lost family members, I've lost friends, and you know, recently I just lost a very good friend. So it's hard, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody knows somebody.
My son's father just passed away from this disease. Like it's almost been 3 years. So that's like gives me motivation to continue. Like. Because I can't save people, right? It's not me doing the work, saving all these people, but I can give as many people the information, the support, and the encouragement to like try again, you know, no matter, and just without judgment, because people get turned off of treatment and trying because people judge them because, oh, you're here again. You know, like when people at the detoxes or the treatment centers, like, oh, you're back again. You should be like, oh my God, I'm so glad to see you. Right. Because
thank you for coming.
Thank you for trying again, because it's not as easy as stop using, right? Like if love were enough, I always say that if only love were enough, because we all have people that love us and we all love people, and like love can't get us like not to use, you know?
Well, it's like what Miranda did. She was looking right at me and going, you know, are you diabetic or something like this? You can't shake it out of them.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so these are, you know, I don't think of those until, I mean, that's why I've learned so much from her, you know, as far as, you know, over the last 5-6 years, really, you know, you and Romeo and stuff. But it's like, that was just like a newsflash when you did that. I was like, oh yeah, you know, you're right. Because I am diabetic. I do have high blood pressure, you know, and I'm still eating birthday cake whenever the hell I want. You know, I'm serious. I mean, it's funny, but
so you struggle with that, and that
absolutely
that.
Look at my belly.
And
true.
And imagine your doctor's punishing you, right? Because you
I'm on so many
that.
meds.
But not giving you your meds. Imagine, because that is where we're at and advocating against, because Suboxone providers will, not all of them, there are some good ones, ours, that Perceptions being one of them, but you know, oh, you have a positive urine screen. No more meds. You're done. You don't get this med that could very well be saving your life, keeping you alive.
Yes, they do. Because you had a setback. They punish you.
Right. Instead of saying, okay, I see that, you know, you have this in your urine, like use it as a conversation, like start the conversation, talk to them. Maybe they need a med adjustment. You know, maybe it's just not a high enough dose.
So now, does Suboxone have the actual drug in there that gives you the
like
same
opioid? No,
that gives you the same feeling or anything like that.
The first couple days you could get like euphoria, a little bit of euphoria, but then it just so you know, when you use and then you don't use and then you use and then you don't use, and it's just that up and down wave. The Suboxone kind of just
Because I've had
levels
people
you
call
out.
and say, "Oh, I'm having a Suboxone overdose." I'm like, not really, dude.
No.
If
No.
you're having a reaction, maybe, or
If they get, so you can go
Feeling,
into
yeah.
precipitate, it's called precipitated withdrawal.
Mhm.
If you take the Suboxone too soon, because it has that blocker in it.
Yeah.
So if there's opioids on board still and you take the Suboxone, you'll go into withdrawal times 1,000.
Yeah.
It's like puking, like
Right.
the
Yeah.
flu
pain
on
and stuff,
steroids,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
So Jess, what you're saying is when you take the Suboxone, you have to be off the opioids?
You have to be in full withdrawal.
Which is,
Full
I
withdrawal.
think, why they test
Okay.
you in the clinic, probably, in their theory.
Well,
Well, that is
It's-
Yeah.
punishment.
yeah.
Mhm.
Basically.
So it's true. It's true. I've
It
known
is.
a couple people that have been on medication-assisted treatment,
Mhm,
and not just for a week or a month or a year, maybe 3 or 4 years,
mhm.
and had a setback, and they were said, "Sorry, you can't come here every day for your meds." That's punishing people for.
And we're
having
talking a
issues.
methadone clinic?
Yeah.
Are we talking
Both
I am.
methadone,
Okay.
I am.
Suboxone. both
Gotcha.
of them.
Okay.
I think though it's starting to shift in the right
It
direction.
is. Yes.
You know, we're
Hopefully.
yeah, it's starting to shift. You know, I when we were CPAS, when CHR was CPAS, I mean, you know, CPAS was Community Prevention and Addiction Services, and it was a very small nonprofit in Willimantic, and that's where I started. CHR came in and, you know, we merged with CHR like 12 years ago. But anyway, when we were CPAS, it was a no, you know, zero tolerance policy because that was a way of thinking in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. But I don't see that with CHR in the last 5 or 6 years. And I'm sure perceptions is, like you
Yes.
said.
Mhm.
So I think it's starting to shift that mentality of the zero tolerance policies, which
I-
is a good thing.
I mean, even the ASAM, the DSM, whatever, like
Mhm.
all of the literature says no medication with and people still using, so whether it be Suboxone or methadone, and people are still using, is better than no medication.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
period. So if they're still using, sometimes it's just about changing those behaviors. Like it's a habit. Like even though you know you're on this methadone or Suboxone and you know you're not going to get high because there's the blocker, you still are using it because that's just what you've done for so long. And it takes a little bit to be like, okay, this is wasting my money. I'm not getting high. I'm not feeling this. And then you slowly, you know,
Wean off
change
of it.
those behaviors. Yeah.
Got it. All right. There's a couple of comments that I want to go ahead and address that maybe you ladies can go ahead and speak to. One, well, a couple, there's a few here. Let's see. First, we'll get into, Pam Padalana. Pam says, you ladies are such an asset to the community. Thank you for doing what you're doing, advocating for these treatment and educational programs. So not so much a question,
Hi,
but
Pam.
Hi,
Thank
Pam.
you.
Shayna says, morning. What an awesome thing to do for people. My husband, I don't know what she wrote here. She's writing in hieroglyphics. Something about her husband. Went through an experience. So many people are addicted. We need to be compassionate about this illness. If you had a bad heart, would you take meds? Just saying.
Exactly.
Okay. That's really echoing what you just said
Yeah.
a minute ago. And then on the other end of the spectrum, Dave says, not trying to start an argument, but I'm trying to start an argument. No, I do understand the mindset that this is a disease. And I know you've heard this all before. The next sentence is, it was a choice. A disease is Alzheimer's. Please try to explain to me how it is a disease, just like most cases of diabetes is not a disease. It was the person's choice to eat junk food. Anybody on the panel want to, have at it.
Educate yourself first.
Mhm.
Science. There is science out there. Educate yourself. That's what I'd have to say.
Is
I
it
don't have
proven?
patience for people like this anymore.
Right.
So when the information and the data and the science is out there, it's a brain disorder. Educate yourself because there's no argument here. You're just misinformed.
Mhm. And
Jess?
it doesn't always start out as a choice. there are people that go into the hospital and given pain meds and given pain meds. That happened
Yeah.
to my son.
Yeah.
And he came out. He was in a very bad accident. He was in a wheelchair. I was giving him the pain meds, and then he was addicted, and they cut him off.
Mm-hmm.
So he went out on the street.
Yeah.
And was he doing them before them? I don't know. But I'm just saying, for a lot of people that go into the hospital, they can become severely addicted to pain medication. So is that a choice? I got into an accident, someone hit me?
Mm.
No. And it's a scientific fact
That
addiction is a disease.
Period.
And like
Full stop.
Miranda said, we're so sick of saying it. We've said it so many times. Stop the stigma, help these people.
I have never once in my 10 plus years of this process ever met someone that said that they wanted to grow up and like deal with addiction, right? Like you don't ever say like, oh, I want to go be an addict when I get older. I hate that word. But like, oh, I'm everybody, or not everybody, a lot of people experiment with drugs when they're younger, right? And so 5 people could experiment with the same amount of substance, and 1 or 2 of them are not, their brains are made up differently, and they are going to react to those substances differently. And then they're going to become addicted to the substance.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, have you ever met anybody that has just said, hey, I'm going to quit and quit on the first try? Have you? I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
I, God willing, have not had to do
So you're
this
a
more
first
than
time-
once.
Okay.
But it's not just, you could quit and you could be sober for 20 years.
Yeah, which I've
But
heard.
you still
Yeah.
have the disease.
You always
Right.
have the
You
addiction.
have
Oh, yeah.
the disease.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. And it manifests itself in other ways. I don't use drugs, but I have had
the behavior.
disease. Oh, yeah, with shopping or with food or with working out or with sex or with relationship. Like it can manifest itself in many, many ways.
You just explained my life. I hang my head in shame.
But on a positive note, I'd like to say thank you to our community, because they've opened up to us, and we have all these resources here for people. And also,
Which we really haven't gotten into, like when and where yet.
Yeah,
We're just getting
and I'd
into
like
discussion
to get into
there.
that, but before we do, I would like Jess to share. Her van was here a couple weeks ago. No one knew it, and this is how badly we need it.
All right, so this is the mobile mat van from Perception Programs.
Yes.
Okay.
So we were here in Jewett City last Tuesday, and I was just kind of getting a lay of like where everything was.
Lay
I
of the
was gonna
land.
Introduce
Sure.
myself, pass out flyers. I was there for an hour and 20 minutes, and I engaged with 3 individuals, connected 1 person to Suboxone services, gave out 40 sterile syringes, 3 safe use kits, 6 naloxone, 8 fentanyl testing strips, and a partridge in a pear tree. I mean, like in
That's amazing.
an hour
and
and
no one
20
knew
minutes.
it. She was parked right near the funeral home.
So this van is very well marked. It has Perception Programs logo and messaging on there. So it's high visibility. It's a good thing.
Court Kinney says diabetes. I can't even. Diabetes. I feel like Wilford Brimley now. I want to get some oatmeal. It's the right thing to do. Diabetes type 1, the pancreas stops making insulin. Type 2, the pancreas does not make enough insulin. Junk food can definitely affect blood sugar, but the underlying problem is the pancreas, and it is definitely a disease. My sister was type 1 from age 13. Eventually, it took her life. So there are many diseases out there. Do you think not just addiction, but other things like diabetes or heart disease that really just are not understood?
Well, a lot of those are developed by behavior as well.
Yeah.
Diabetes can be too much sugar in your life, just can hurt your body, and cardiac problems are caused by bad habits as well. It can go either way.
Yeah, I mean, Daryl Nadu from the Healthy Computer, School Street, Jewett City. It's a plug. He says, I quit smoking over 10 years ago, and the craving still shows up. And I can speak to that easily myself.
Me too.
Because I had quit smoking for about Hope that chair doesn't crumble. It's got no support on it. But-
careful.
What?
I think
Nah.
she'll be fine.
Kathy's 12 pounds, so it doesn't matter. So
Oh, maybe
you're, no,
not.
you're fine. You're fine.
No, you don't think I'll break it?
No,
I sit on
I
it.
would break it.
I
You,
sat on
not
it
a
and
chance.
It was all right.
Okay.
Even as an insurance risk, if it was, I would say don't. But no, you're good.
But even like I
Um,
used to smoke and dip when I was younger,
Mhm.
and once in a while, like maybe 6 months ago, I just tried a little bit of dip, and I got so sick.
Mm.
But I had that craving in the
Yeah.
beginning. It's just because I saw someone else doing it. Everybody was doing it.
Well, I quit smoking. Oh God, I think it was probably between 8 and 10 years before I had met my ex-wife, and we went to a cookout, and people were smoking outside, right? And I'm like, whatever. And then finally, my ex-wife, lit up a cigarette, and apparently, and this is we had really just started dating and stuff like that, and said, I didn't know you smoked. And she goes, only when I drink, which I hear that from people, especially women. I only smoke when I drink. Okay. So I'm like, all right. Well, if you can do that and you can shut it off, well then, okay, I'm going to try it too. Hey, can I bum a cigarette from you? Next thing you know, I had 2 or 3 cigarettes at that party, right? I'm good. Next morning, kid goes out to the bus. Lady smoking a cigarette. Can I bum a cigarette from you? She goes, I thought you told me that you quit years ago. I said, no, apparently I just quit buying them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so here we are. And then it turned out that I just kept buying them and buying to the point where, first thing this morning, did I light up a cigarette? Yes. And then I was driving to work, all of this 1/8 of a mile that I have. And I had forgotten my cigarettes at home. So now I want you to tell me after this stupid story, is this, because I'm always trying to equate things, one to the other. And nine times out of 10, I'm wrong, but I want to see if this is close. So I get up here. I had already gotten coffees for Rich and I. He wasn't here yet, but I'm like, shit, I don't have my cigarettes. I literally put the cigarettes down on the brick wall, walked down to the store, bought not 1, but 2 packs of cigarettes.
Can't run out.
Got to make sure.
How much are they?
Dude, yeah. So
Too much.
right, and then I even forgot my lighter, and it's like, you got matches? Because I didn't want to spend $2-3 on a lighter. It's like, guy goes, yeah. So anyway, so I
But at
came
least
back.
you walked down there.
Yeah, but I guess
The
the point,
diabetes will help.
right? But the point, smart ass. But the point is it could have been Lisbon, and I probably would have taken an Uber or drove, or you know what I mean, to get it.
Your focus was on the cigarettes. Just
Yes.
like someone's focused on getting that drug.
And this is
Every single day when they get up in the
It's a
morning.
full-time job.
It is a full-time job.
oh yeah, and
I don't know, but I've heard, and I've seen. And
Yeah.
I found out after my son died the extent of his addiction. My heart was broken anyway, but it was so broken. He got up in the morning and he went to the methadone clinic. Then after that, he went to Hartford to get his heroin.
Yeah.
And then when he came home, he went and he was on cocaine also. Then he had to have something to sleep, so he'd get benzos. And his whole day focused on getting these drugs. He was just so addicted. And it's so damn sad. Who would want to live a life like that? And, in his heart, all he wanted to do was be normal, just like us, have a family, have a job. And it just didn't happen for him.
Look, I know cigarettes are killing me slowly.
I wish we would have had these services in Jewett City when my son was actively using. I'm not saying it would have brought him back or, he would have went into recovery, but he would have had a chance because all there was here at the time was stigma, judgment. You're a loser. I had people in town call him a loser. That breaks my heart. This is my child.
Kathy, and I told Miranda this before Griswold Pride, and I became aware of who they were and what they did. That was me. That was me. So I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I mean,
for
not,
educating yourself.
no, I never knew Matthew, but I'm just saying that was me. You know, you see somebody on the side of the road, you know, and they're tripping or whatever they're doing, and you go, and you say something snarky or whatever. And the more I learned, it's like, yeah, no, what can we do to help this person turn themselves around?
You've never walked in his shoes. How would you know? You know?
Yeah. So I can understand. I mean, I can understand people having, you see it more than I do, but, you know, having the comments of, you know, well, and I hear it all the time, you know, it's not a disease. You know, I hear it from multiple people. I'm sure times 100, you guys hear it. So I understand where you'd be like very frustrated, you know, especially when this is the work that you do. And then somebody just comes in
and the
and starts chopping
information's out there. They're just not looking in the correct places.
Yeah. So, I mean, I mean, I was that guy and I'm not anymore. And I'm just not, you know, hanging around people like Rich and stuff like that, first responder, you know, just, you won't really talk about it, but he'll drop little nuggets about things. And it's like, it sinks in, you know what I mean? And you get it.
And you have to be open.
Yes. Laura says, do you provide or have information for programs that help family members of people with chemical dependencies?
That's where Matt's mission comes in. This is what they specialize in.
Yes, we were having compassionate support groups on Thursdays. And then when COVID hit, we stopped, of course. But I mean, we have people on our phone line. They can call our phone line at any time. We can refer them. We'll speak with them.
Also, Tri-Circle Inc. runs hybrid support groups for family members. So they can check out their website.
And Community Speaks Out also.
Yep, down in Groton. They have support groups
right now.
We
have a virtual resource library along with Griswold Pride. And if you go to our website,
matsmission.net
or griswoldpride.org, you'll see our virtual resource library, and there's so many speakers that might be able to help her. Or please call me.
And is your website just.com or something? Or what are they?
I don't even know. It's perception programs.
Just look at perception programs.
.com. If you Google perceptions programs.
But you can text or call the number.
But yes,
860-336-9412. It's on the flyer that I have on the screen. The flyer for the mobile Mad Van has been on the screen the entire time.
And also in September, we have our recovery event. We have
Matt's Mission, right?
And there are,
which is a wonderful event.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, people share their personal stories. Then we have resource treatment tables. There's a lot of
raffles.
Oh, Matt's van will be there. If anyone would like to come to treatment, same day treatment, access to Suboxone.
You know what I think is to me?
Syringe services program will be there. Sorry.
No. I interrupted you. I'm sorry. Today I Matter.
Yes.
Oh, the Memorial Poster Project.
Yeah.
They will be there also.
And it's overwhelming.
It is.
It's overwhelming because it starts close to the gazebo and they're evenly spaced all around the park.
And there's a lot of local people in there too.
Yes.
You know, a lot of our residents.
And these are people all that have died from using. So, let's see, Dave. Biggest fear is that one of my kids becomes addicted to drugs. I pray every day they don't fall into it. So, yeah, of course, don't we all? I mean, we don't wish our kids to, say, hey, you know what? I hope you start using. Of course we don't do that. And yeah, Dave, that's a fear. Is that a bigger fear now, do you think, of parents that they're going to start using and get into that lifestyle than, say, robbing convenience stores?
I would seem to say yes.
Or life of crime.
Adults are
a life of crime is usually connected to substance use.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have to get their drugs somewhere. Either they have really rich parents, they're going to steal from them, or they're going to steal somewhere else, or they're going to sell drugs. My son, unfortunately, his route was to get his drugs because he wasn't getting money from me, was to sell drugs. He wasn't proud of that. I'm not proud of saying that, but that's something
That's
that he
reality.
did to support his habit. I mean, he wasn't doing it for money. He didn't have any. Believe me, he drove an old car. He wasn't making any money.
Sure.
But that was the way he supported his habit.
I was gonna say, at work,
unfortunately.
most of the people we run and stuff, from robbing or burglary and stuff like that, you run their rap sheets, they have a history of drug use.
I mean, when I remember when we were working in Putnam, I think they said probably 90% of their calls are due to, and not to drugs, but the crime was related to the drug use. So, yeah.
And also, I worked at the courthouse in Waterford for 32 years. And of all the cases that I saw,
And this is a juvenile court, correct?
Juvenile court.
Yeah.
All the cases that I saw where children were taken away from their parents, which was so sad. Over 90% were from substance use disorders.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lady currently who, not the one you're thinking of, but has a set of twins. Maybe it is. I think you do. You know, yeah. And I will tell you that, you know, I was worried. This is one lady I was really worried that I was going to. I mean, at my age, I'm looking at the obits. You know what I mean? Because, you know, people my age die, you know, and they die regularly. And sometimes, yeah. But this was one name I thought I was going to see in there at some point. I really honestly did. Not even Jen, you know, but this one. And I got a text 2 nights ago.
Treatment?
Yeah. She's in rehab. She's gained about 10 pounds because she's eaten a lot.
That's amazing.
So that's great. That's
she sees her kids.
That's awesome.
One of her kids lives right next door. Next door to me. And you know what? She's a good mom. When she's not on that, she's a wonderful mother.
Addiction to drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still a good person.
Absolutely.
If only love were enough, right?
Yeah.
And I think, is that part of the stigma?
Yes.
Is that okay? Because you're using drugs, you're not a nice
you're not
person.
a good mom. You're not a good wife, daughter, sister, brother, uncle.
Right.
If you ever met Matt, I'm not just saying it because he was my son, but you would have loved him. He was a good person. He was respectful, very, very respectful, and he cared about people.
Yeah. So it's same thing with this one lady I'm just talking about now, who's, thank God, she's doing well, and she said she was gonna stop by pretty soon when she's gonna be getting out, I guess in a couple of months. She said she still has a ways to go, and I think that statement right there was very you know.
I mean, I still have a ways to go.
We all do.
And it's 10 years later.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I am one bad choice away.
Daryl just who said that he quit smoking, and you know he said, where is it? If I smoked one cigarette, I'd start up again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And now, I mean, my drug of choice was opioid pills, right? So now you can't just take a pill and know that that's what it is. I never question when I would go cop on the street, am I taking what I think I'm taking, which is 30 milligram Percocet, right? There are these counterfeit pills that have fentanyl in them that are killing people. And people just don't think, they think it's in the heroin. There is no heroin. I walked in hearing Miranda say that, which is so true. It's just not heroin anymore. It is fentanyl. But now it is in the cocaine. It is in the methamphetamines. It is in the pills. It's in the benzos. It's in everything, you know, and no one is safe. And the people that are not addicts, are at more risk of overdose. The people that just go out to the bars on the weekend and do a bump or a line of coke in the bathroom with their friends, you are at the most risk for overdose because you have zero tolerance to fentanyl, which is most likely in it.
Yeah. And you can buy these things over the internet.
Yes.
Which I'm shocked at.
No, Miranda, you said that at one point there, I think the last time you were here, there's actually a cutting agent that you can get rid of Tractor Supply.
Yeah, xylazine, and it's killing people.
Yes.
Yes. Well, it's being found in toxicology reports. Let's say that.
Is that the crocodile?
No,
No.
xylazine is
That's
a horse
totally
like a
different.
cattle tranquilizer.
It has a lot of the same effects as opioids on the central nervous system, but it's not an opioid, so it doesn't respond to Narcan, which is very troublesome
Yeah.
because
That's
they
a
have
whole
an
new set of
antidote,
problems.
right? Yes.
I think in 2021, we had 10 fatal overdoses here in Jewett City, Griswold. And out of those 10, I believe it was either 4 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
Can't remember. Either
Was it
4 or
1
6
week?
of them had xylazine.
It's in 1 week, wasn't it?
No. 10 fatals over the course of the year last year.
I know that recently we had like
Recent-
6 in a week.
We were at 5 for the year. So, well,
And
according to
just
medical
Fatals
examiner.
or just overdose?
Fatals.
Oh my God.
And
They were
Jewett City?
attributed, at least when we were there, to
Okay.
overdose.
That's not in our
Oh,
data,
okay.
but
Yeah.
What made you stop?
My children, 1, and 2, just I was so tired of the lies that I had to keep up with and that constant like pit in my stomach of what was I going to get caught or caught out or questioned about
Sure.
next. I was married. My ex-husband was in the military. He was in the Navy, so he was gone a lot. I was away from my family and friends, so it was very easy to hide my use because I didn't really have any like people that knew me, right? Like the real me without the drugs. And it's a progressive disease, so it wasn't an issue until it was an issue. You know, I was one of those people that still judge people who did heroin or who used when they were pregnant or stole from their children or their families or whatever. Like, oh, I would never do that until I did.
So you do.
Until I did. And so my children were 2 and 7. It was like right at their birthdays are September 5th and 6th. And so we had just had a big party for them. And it was like a bunch of taking money and like having to convince my one parent that like it was just a lot. And I was like, I just can't do it anymore. I just was tired. So I called and got help. And then my ex-husband, like 3 days in, he was like, you can't come home. So you got to figure something else out. Like you're not coming back here. And 5 days into treatment, he sued me for custody and like served me with divorce papers. And, you know, but back then I felt victimized, right? Because we get very comfortable being the victim. Like, what do you mean? I'm getting better. How could you do this to me? But looking back, it was the best thing that he could have ever done. Because 1, I was miserable in the marriage. I didn't love him. I had children with him, you know, and it was convenient. He was taking care of me, but I didn't want to be taken care of anymore. I wanted to be my own person. And I finally had the ability to dream, like, because for so many years, I only existed, really. I really didn't have the capacity to set goals, to dream about the future, to make plans, because I couldn't. Because
So
if I
were
didn't
the
have
drugs
a
an
drug-
escape, you think, maybe?
Well, yeah, it was an escape. It gave me energy. I think it was a lot of undiagnosed mental health too. Like I have depression, I have ADHD, I have all of these things that I didn't know I had. And so I was taking this med because I felt normal on it. I didn't get high and nod off. And that's how I was able to hide it for so long, because I really was just wanting to be able to have the energy to get up off the couch, to be able to engage with my children and be a good mom, not be in the dark room, you know, under the covers, depressed, really. That's what it was. So, yeah.
So the reason why I asked you all these questions and stuff like that is just to, you know, to explain that it is all parts of society. It's not just what you would consider a junkie on the side of the road. It's that's why I used it, you know, because it is a bad word. You know, you have people that are, you know, family people, you know, being in a family with, you know, a husband and kids, regardless of how you felt. That's what it was. You were a husband. You had a husband and kids, right?
A Navy family.
Navy family, right? Where are you from?
I'm originally from West Palm Beach, Florida.
What the hell are you doing here?
The Navy.
Why are you still here?
Well, because my kids are here.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right.
And look at the work I get to do. You know, every day I get to engage with people who society say are, you know, forgettable and can just do away with
we
them.
go to houses all the way from McMansions down to people living in tents.
Yes.
It's everybody.
And
that was the point.
Yeah.
That was the point.
Especially recently over the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen it more prevalent, more obvious. That's the case.
It's everywhere.
So you answered one question that I had. What made you decide to go? Well, not what made you decide. What clicked, I guess, would be the better word. And then I guess the other question would be, what clicked to make you realize that you had an issue?
I think just like all those yets, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I would never pawn something. I would never steal something. I can't really remember a specific day, time, moment where I was like, okay, this is a problem. Like I said, it wasn't. One day I had control over it, and then the next I didn't. And with alcohol, cocaine, ecstasy, acid, all of the drugs that I've tried, I was able to do it and then just be fine.
My family has a huge history
of addiction.
Like I was born in Putnam, like a whole family that's up in this area. My birth family, I'm adopted, so I don't even know most of my birth family. Probably lucky, but I noticed that like when I had my arm surgery from a motorcycle accident, they gave me a bottle of Percocets.
Yes.
And so I'm taking them because it did take a little bit of the pain away.
Right.
And then I realized one morning I woke up without even thinking about it, I want one of my pills. I'm like, wait a minute. And I just went and dumped them. So
Thank God.
People, yeah. But are most people not able to think like
or just it didn't click that they went to grab it, right?
Yeah.
And,
So
I
is
was
that part of
16
that?
and had a foot surgery and I got pain meds.
Yeah.
I had wisdom teeth. I got pain meds. And back then, yes, I loved the way that they made me feel, but it wasn't like, okay, when they run out, now I have to like go lie, steal, cheat, manipulate, whatever. But after I had my first daughter, there were some complications. They gave me meds. And again, I think it was postpartum, maybe. Like, I just don't know. But whatever it was, I don't regret any of it. I feel like I was exactly where I was supposed to be. I was put through exactly what I was supposed to go through so that I could be in this moment, so that I could educate the community and I could change perceptions of addiction. Because like you said, it's everywhere. It isn't just the person that is living in a tent or under the bridge begging for money. Like it's everywhere. It's doctors, it's lawyers. I used to be part of self-help groups and literally you would see doctors, lawyers, all the way down to people experiencing homelessness. It just is across the board.
And they're probably some of the largest ones with the easy access. I would think.
Yes, and then they get themselves in trouble,
a lot of
right?
Nurses
yes,
that we hear about.
Yeah.
Well, not everybody, but that
take meds and
I mean, listen to the stories that you tell, stories that you've told in the past. Your story of Matt and other, and my own story. Is that, and I would say the same thing. I don't know if I think it's like an excuse in my own head or whatever. But whenever I have been offered certain things, and I would turn around and say no. Why? Because I'm afraid I'd like it too much. When I was DJing in nightclubs back when I was like 24, 25 years old, people would come over. I go into the kitchen. They were cutting lines. What are you doing? You want some? No, get the hell out of my house. Why don't you just try it? No, I'm afraid I'd like it too much. It wasn't a line. It was fact. I would have liked it too much. I was the same way with gambling. See, these are other things that, there's so many things in this world that I don't think gets the attention where it's stigmatized.
Right.
You're
going to see a huge increase in problem gambling with all the online
apps and stuff.
Yeah.
That I don't agree with.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think that now opens it up to kids, that are just bullshitting on who they are and their name and stuff like that. Next thing you know, they're on DraftKings, wagering on the Yankees or the Red Sox.
I've already heard kids that are doing that.
Yeah. I'm gonna bet my milk money. It's crappy. All right, so let's get back into the mobile mat van. Okay. So it's the second Tuesday of every month, correct? Second and fourth. Okay, it's going to be behind the St. Mary's School parking lot. Now, so for those of you in town that do not know where that is, that's on North Main Street, because not everybody knows where the old St. Mary's School was.
So it coincides with the food pantry, the St. Mary's food pantry. And that was the whole point. Being in Griswold and Jewett City, we're kind of rural here. We don't have a soup kitchen or something where we could go do boots on the ground outreach. So this was our best option to reach the most people. Convenient drive-through. So when they're leaving the food pantry, look at that van, and they can stop and access services right then and there.
Now, How did the marriage between the two happen?
So this is, I think, I'm just really proud of what we've brought.
Because I understand like you and CIRAC and stuff like that.
Right.
So just
so the whole point of a coalition that, that Griswold Pride is bringing in different sectors of the community to work together. And it's not as easy as it sounds because, even 5-10 years ago, all of these agencies weren't working together.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had their own grants. They were going after the same funding. It was very competitive. CHR versus PPI versus United Services. And now we're all in the
everybody was coming to the table.
Now we're all in the same team. And by working together, we're bringing so many resources to our community, but even to New London County. And it's really, we're getting out of our silos, and we said that 10 years ago, this is what's going to have to happen in order to see real change. And that is what's happening. So I'm really proud of that. We have really, a comprehensive list of services and programs now in Jewett City and Griswold. Like we have the MAT van, we have harm reduction services with the syringe van, we have prevention, we have family support. Like we have it here. We have UCFS with full behavioral health. Like we have the resources now. Now it's just reaching the people that need it. And because we're rural, it's a little bit harder. Yes. In Norwich, New London, they're doing post-overdose outreach after a call with the police. They have their own police department. Right. We're not doing that because we have state police. We don't have that capacity yet, but we will. And that's a big goal of mine before I leave Griswold,
So is behavioral health being brought into this as well with
once you're connected to a MAT provider, they will uncover all of the mental health and trauma and work on that. Yeah.
And if anyone needs phone numbers, they could call our Max Mission phone line and we'll connect them to services. And once they're in detox and then go to treatment, they connect them.
You tied into 211?
I'm sorry.
Are you tied into 211 as well? Or?
I think so.
I think so because I get a lot of phone calls from.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is Matt the trailer named after Matt?
Well, I wish it was. I wanted them.
Matt.
I already told you it wasn't.
I wanted them to put another T on there.
What does
I
it
might
stand
go
for?
paint it.
So then what does it stand for?
Medication assisted treatment.
And Matt Bear was MATT.
Yes. Don't you worry. I'll paint.
Get a marker, put a T.
Yeah.
I told him this. He didn't believe
I forgot.
me.
Just clicked in my head. I forgot.
No, it's not.
Jim, what are we going to do with these people?
I don't know. I thought it was Matt's named
That's
after that.
clicked in my head
See,
automatically.
I'm glad you asked that, actually. Okay. And I'm glad you said what Matt was because I had no idea what MAT stood for. Now, where are you guys out of?
Perceptions program.
Yes.
There is several offices. I am connected to the Willimantic office, but they also have one in Danielson stores, I think, and that's it. Danielson stores and Willimantic.
So Perceptions also runs the syringe program too. So
okay. Now that's where I've heard the name more often.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of run down the services that are going to be available at the MAT van. The second and fourth Tuesday of every single month behind St. Mary's School in Jewett City on North Main Street. So here it is. Access to treatment, Suboxone treatment, correct? Did I say that right?
Yep.
Wound care kits. Are we talking about like diabetics or something like that? Or
They're mostly geared for people who inject drugs.
Okay.
They can get a lot of infections. And so I'm not doing any of the wound care per se, but I am giving
You're gonna hand
out
them
the
the kits.
supplies, right?
Gotcha.
And I can connect them to nurses or, primary care or ER if need be.
Gotcha. Overdose prevention information and resources. Naloxone, which is Narcan. Training and how to administer that. Condoms and safer sex supplies. Referrals to sober supports and community resources. So it's kind of a one-stop shop.
Yes.
So.
And we also have partnered with UCFS and have pre-made food bags, which won't be so, I guess, needed because they're at the food pantry. But in our other locations or in between the food pantries, if people need, food to carry them over, UCFS has been kind enough to give me pre-made food bags.
So, go. You gonna? Did I just jump on you there? Did you want to say
No,
something?
I was just commenting on the food.
Okay.
bags. It's okay.
One thing I did want to notice, make sure that I noticed that I wanted to go ahead and say is that the times are different.
Yes.
So the second Tuesday of every month is 10 a.m. to noon, and then the fourth Tuesday is 2 to 4 in the afternoon.
Right. Because the food pantry runs twice a day.
Okay.
So we wanted to make sure we were hitting both.
Gotcha.
Right. But
Very
not
good.
monopolizing her whole day being in Jewett City as well. So.
The first one starts on Tuesday.
Yes.
That fan will be there this Tuesday.
Okay.
at 2.
And this is the fourth Tuesday, so it'll be 2 to 4.
2 to 4 this Tuesday, June
28th.
I
Okay.
gotta get that right. I was saying the wrong day before.
I would like to invite you in on the second Tuesday of every month. And that way we can talk in the morning, even if it's just like 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
The Mad Van's going to be here,
Absolutely.
and I think it's a great community resource. And, it's great that, Miranda is, is partnering with you guys and, of course, with Kathy. So many great community resources
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
that were never here before.
I know.
We're going to get more too.
Yes.
We're going to do post overdose outreach one way or another.
Yeah, and we
Gotcha.
do support people on their path to recovery with our backpack program. If they need a backpack, it's full of essential items such as shampoo.
We haven't even talked about Daryl McGraw.
Oh, Daryl.
He's a busy man.
He's very busy.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, here's a question. And I just in case we didn't answer it, does the van go to other communities and where?
Yes. So we will be in Norwich, Tapville, Willimantic, Putnam, Danielson, and Jewett City.
So pretty much Eastern Connecticut.
So if you go to Perceptions, either Facebook or website, the schedule, I believe, is up.
Okay. All
You'll
right.
find the full flyer.
Very good. Anything else you guys want to add? It's been pretty full of information
Yeah.
About the
today.
once again about the syringe services program every
Yep.
Friday behind the town
Hall.
Our
And that's
backpack
in an unmarked vehicle, is it
Yes.
not?
Pretty much. Yeah. We
Pretty
have a
much.
Narcan Saves Lives magnet on it. So it is identifiable, but we don't, some people want to remain anonymous that
Sure,
come to
of
that
course.
van. So yeah.
Okay, that's every
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 Friday
Friday.
from 1 to 3 behind the town
Okay.
hall.
And just a little tidbit of information. Opioid overdose is the leading cause of death among adults. It has surpassed car accidents. So, again, everybody's at risk. If you do not get your prescription medication from a pharmacy, you are at risk for overdose, I mean,
Yes, and one other event. So we're partnering with Slater Library,
right.
and I think it's July 7th
Yes.
from 4 to 6.
4 to
I don't have the
7.
flyer in front of me.
Narcan training, and we'll have resource contacts.
So we'll be handing
Is this
there.
the QPR training?
No, that's
That's separate.
suicide
No.
prevention.
Oh,
So
okay.
this one's just Pride and Matt's Mission will be partnering with Slater Library. It'll be like an open house, but we will be available to train you and hand out Narcan if needed that day, as well as all the other resources that we offer.
Okay. Linda says, great job, Miranda Mahoney.
Thanks.
Linda Staples Carlson.
Oh, hi, Linda.
Linda who? All right.
And our recovery event, September 10th.
September
Save the
10th,
date.
which will be down at Veterans Memorial Park.
Yeah.
Where do you come up with all the great prizes for the raffles? I mean, you have tons
I
of
have
stuff.
to give that to my board member, Jane Panis.
Got it.
She has done such a wonderful job for 6 years on our raffle. I mean, there are such awesome prizes.
Yeah, there's
Plus,
just so
we
much.
usually have one big prize like a TV,
Awesome.
Yeah.
but she does a wonderful, wonderful job.
Kept last year, one lady won like 6 times, and people
I
were going,
know.
That
It's-
happens at every
I know,
raffle.
I know. It's rigged. It's not rigged.
So in the meantime, if you need fentanyl testing strips or Narcan or anything like that, and they're not here, Perceptions is not here, you can contact me or Kathy. Our numbers are everywhere. Just go to our Facebook pages, our websites, and we have supplies if you're in need during the week while they're not here.
It's
Or
a-
backpacks. They can call.
Mhm.
I had one lady call me yesterday, and I brought her down a backpack.
And we do have the capacity to grow and come out weekly if need be. We just
Sure.
wanted to start slow, see how it goes. And
well, I think you
work.
did that with nobody knowing that you were here, and look what happened.
Yeah.
Yes,
So there is a need for it.
absolutely.
So perception programs you can find on I'm assuming on Facebook. Do we
Yep.
know the
Mhm.
website or?
We have it's perception program.
Just look it up. Just
and
don't go to Griswold now and say, "Hey, how do I find perception program?" Why don't you try Google?
Yeah, and we're on their Facebook, I think, friends. You know, we're connected. So you can go to
Yeah.
Facebook, Google, or website, call 860-336-9412.
And mattsmission.net and griswoldpride.org. Okay, ladies, thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
And all the
Thank you.
education.
Thank you.
No, always, of course, the education and the information that you guys give us in the community. Take it for, digest it and learn it, guys. Rich, what do you think? I mean, you're a first responder. So, why don't you go ahead and caveat off of that?
I think there's a lot of education that needs to go out there. And I think a lot of that education is, again, you recognizing an overdose and then being able to help someone in an overdose.
Very good. Very good. All right, it's going to wrap things up. We'll be back tomorrow morning right here on SNS and later on today at 5:30. Ooh, baseball once again. Live from Jewett City. So. It's Little League, man. These kids are good. It's so much fun.
That's the fun part, probably.
It is. It's a blast to watch these guys play. It is. And we also set up we're all set up for youth football again.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So that's all set.
Excellent.
Anyway, thanks a lot, everybody, for showing up. We'll see you tomorrow right here on SNSN.
Life is full of choices. At Jewett City Savings Bank, we can make one choice easy, finding the right checking account. We offer a range of affordable accounts to fit your budget and needs, and each gives you the freedom to access your money the way you want, online, through our mobile app, or with your debit card. It's your money and your choice. To learn more about the account that's right for you, stop by one of our offices or visit us at jcsbank.com. Jewett City Savings Bank, member FDIC.
You buy better. Better it burns. Much better. So much better it burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better it burns. You buy better it burns. You buy better.
The Burns Agency knows your insurance needs can change with almost every season. The snowblowers get tucked away and the motorcycles, boats, and jet skis come out to play. Give yourself a minute. Stop. Think about what new or changing exposures are happening to you. Then call the Burns Agency. Over the phone, in person, or online, we're here for all your policy needs. Or better yet, give us a chance to earn your business with our top-notch customer service, strong coverage options, and unbeatable pricing. The Burns Agency, proudly serving Eastern Connecticut since 1932.
Better. Better it burns. Much better. So much better it burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better it burns. You buy better it burns. You buy better.
Are we on the air, sugar? Mike Menard.